But we got some news. We got a couple of news stories. So we got Marathon showing off some gameplay last week. Marathon, if you guys don't know, it was one of Bungie's original trilogy of games before they did Halo. It's kind of the trilogy that put them on the map. And about a year or so ago, they announced that they were making a new Marathon game. Not a remake, just a brand new game set in the Marathon universe. And they showed off some gameplay of it over the weekend. And unfortunately, my suspicions of that game were confirmed. It is going to be an extraction shooter. Which, if you know anything about me, you guys know I've spoken with distaste for extraction shooters. I think they are dumb, I think they are stupid, and I don't like them. I don't like the idea of it being like battle royale games. I'm fine with, and since what I don't really like is extraction shooter, which is essentially a battle royale, but you keep all the equipment that you get in each match. But I don't like the idea of, getting all your equipment and then all of a sudden you just fucking die and you lose all of it. I don't know. I don't like the concept. And again, I've said this before, but I still think to this day it's part of the reason why the cycle died. But, I could go on about that for, I can bring up the cycle stuff anytime. And either way, yeah, it's gonna be extraction shooter. They have a pre-alpha that you can sign up for by joining their Discord server, which I'm going to give it a shot just to see how it is. But I was getting a lot of Apex Legends vibes coming from this gameplay. I was seeing people compared to I saw someone say it was looked like a cross between Apex Legends and Risk of Rain. I've not played Risk of Rain, although I know it is very popular. But I think the big comparison for me is it just looks like Apex Legends and Destiny 2 gameplay. I don't necessarily hate the aesthetic though. The sort of neon green, pink, and white look is pretty nice, admittedly. But we're just gonna have to wait and see how it is. It's not really looking that good for Bungie, and I don't know if this is gonna push the needle. On top of that, right? This is a paid game. This is not gonna be a free-to-play game. But I think they did state that it's not going to be $70. So for all I know, it could be a $40 game or something along the lines of that. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know what they announced the price for. I don't know if they did announce the price for it. But they did at least say that it's not going to be full price. So that's something, I suppose. My whole thing, right, is that we live in a day and age where there are really great remakes of popular FPS games coming out. So obviously, we got the Doom games, we got the new Doom games with 2016 Eternal and the upcoming Doom Dark Ages. You had the Wolfenstein remakes, and obviously more recently, you had the System Shock remake. So instead of doing that and remaking the Marathon games, to where, hey, you might actually be able to retain some goodwill from your fan base, they instead decided to make a brand new game based on the IP, but have it be a little too, they're chasing the extraction shooter trend. And I saw someone point out, Concord was late to the hero shooter. They were late to the hero shooter trend. Now people are saying that it looks like Marathon could be late to the extraction shooter trend, and I do think that is going to be the case. But it could be. There's always the chance that it will be a success. Who knows? Again, we're gonna have to wait and see. I don't think they put out a release date yet. They just have a pre-alpha they can try out. So yeah. But speaking of remakes and remasters, next story we're gonna talk about, probably the biggest story of the week. Someone did an oopsie daisy, and it turns out that the rumors of the official Oblivion remaster are true. You can look it up right now. Leaks of the upcoming Oblivion remaster are out. There are screenshots that you can look at on Virtuoso's website. Virtuoso, which is the company that is making the Oblivion remaster. I guess someone did an oopsie daisy, and screenshots of the remaster are on their website. So this was a news story that was kind of being tossed around for the past couple months now, with a possible Oblivion remake / remaster. I was kind of on the skeptic side with everything. Thinking that it could be true, could not be true. Turns out, yes, it is true. It is happening. Now it's just a matter of, are we going to get a deadlock situation where Virtuoso and Bethesda are just gonna pretend it doesn't exist until they are ready to officially announce it, or are we gonna get a case where they're just gonna go, well, cat's out of the bag, might as well just announce it now. Which now obviously does leave a can of worms open with Sky Oblivion, which, if you guys don't know, that's the fan-made Oblivion remake that's currently in development by a group of mod developers. They're at I think they're still at 90% completion. They're set to release this summer, and I'm because of history with stuff like H2M and all that. And I know this is wild to think about, given that Bethesda's always usually been good with their modding community. I'm just still a little afraid that maybe Bethesda will send a sort of cease and desist to the Sky Oblivion devs, telling them, hey, you can't do this anymore, despite the fact that you've been in development for 10 years now. But we have to wait and see if whether or not that does happen. If it doesn't happen, great, awesome. Then we'll have 2 remasters of Oblivion to do. I think the difference here will be that Sky Oblivion will be just a general remaster of the base game. They're not doing the DLCs as of right now, because they want to push to at least get the main game finished. Whereas I believe with the official Oblivion remaster, that will likely have the DLCs included. So hey, I guess Oblivion fans will get the best of both worlds if they want the fan-made version or the completely official redone version. Don't know on release date yet. That hasn't been announced, but yeah, no. Screenshots are out right now. I've looked at them myself, and it does look good. It looks really good. We got a couple of news stories to talk about. One of them that I completely somehow fell underneath my radar. We're gonna talk about Destiny 2, because Destiny 2, it seems, I want to say it was this past weekend, announced their brand new expansion. I was kind of talking about it, I think, in the last news from the bunker, where I was like, well, we still haven't, they still haven't announced anything regarding their next expansion, still called Codename Frontiers. Nope, turns out now on the 15th, so about 4 days ago, yeah. They announced that the new Destiny 2 expansion is called The Edge of Fate, and there's been some speculation as to what this is going to be about. The obvious one is that it's going to be about the Nine, which have kind of been this mysterious enclave of figures throughout the Destiny universe. You hear Zur talk about them quite frequently. And, you know, I say this because if you look at the image that they posted on their social medias, you see the logo and everything, and then you see the logo of the Nine behind the title. So on May 6th, they're going to be doing like a full reveal for you know, for like, you know, what's coming to Edge of Fate. Possibly I kind of like a new location. Possibly a new enemy type. We'll see. But yeah, May 6th is when they'll be doing the full reveal, and also probably the release date, I would assume. Which, if I had to take a guess, it's probably gonna get released in like either July, like they did with the final shape, or they might give it some more time to breathe. But all I'm gonna say is, if they do decide to do that, and they decide to push the release of this expansion back, they need to add something more for players to do, because you know, at this point, Heresy is already finished, and as I've said before, I'm not playing the game again until expansion drops, because I really don't care about doing the seasonal challenges right now. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. It's nice to know that they're not diverting all of their attention to Marathon. Because that was my initial thought, is that maybe they want to get Marathon out the window first before they focus on Destiny 2. That doesn't appear to be the case now. So yeah, Destiny 2, The Edge of Fate, full reveal on May 6th. But next up, there's actually kind of breaking news. Just broke about an hour or so ago, as I was getting ready for the stream tonight. So as of this stream, it is WrestleMania weekend. It is the first night of WrestleMania 41, and during their pre-show thing, WWE have officially announced that they have acquired the Mexican-based wrestling company known as AAA. If you guys don't know what AAA is, AAA was basically Mexico's premier wrestling company. Kind of like how Japan has New Japan and Pro Wrestling Noah, and the US has AEW and WWE. Mexico had AAA, and they kind of rivaled WWE in terms of like scale and scope, especially if you look at any clips from their WrestleMania equivalent pay-per-view, which is called Triple Mania. They had a pretty big following. I didn't see too much from AAA. Watched maybe a couple matches here and there. It looked really cool, and yeah, they've officially announced that they have that WWE has acquired them. Which means, obviously, you know, we're going to be seeing AAA wrestlers wrestle in WWE, all that stuff. I'm kind of wondering if they're going to keep any of the AAA shows, but just under the WWE umbrella. So, because my main thing is Triple Mania still going to exist, or is that just going to be, like, is all of the Triple Mania shows just going to be done and over with, and we're not going to see them anymore? Because, obviously, you know, with them acquiring AAA, and most likely all their wrestlers along with it, that leaves an already overbloated roster that WWE has had. So I'm wondering if maybe they're gonna like keep the AAA shows going. I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, there's also been some concern, because AAA does carry some baggage along with that acquisition, and some problematic characters, such as Alberto Del Rio and Marty Scurll, who have had, let's just say, some problematic things concerning them happen over the past years or so. Not really going to get into those now. Google search is your friend. I would just do that, do the research on your own. All I know is that Marty Scurll and Del Rio have some problems. And so now it's kind of been under speculation as to what WWE plans to do with that now that they've acquired them. And obviously, this is not the first major WWE news to come out in recent months. Obviously, in the past, I talked about the partnership announcement between TNA and WWE, which we thought was never going to happen, but, you know, it has happened. And I imagine we're going to be seeing more of this, not really acquisitions, because this is like the first major acquisition WWE has made, I think, since WCW. I could be wrong on that. But, you know, this kind of leads to more speculation that, you know, since Triple H is now manning the helm of the WWE, more or less, this could lead to either more acquisitions or just partnerships, just plain old partnerships. Because I know with this now, that means there's even a more likely chance that WWE and AEW could partner up, maybe WWE New Japan. It just all depends now. Like, what does Triple H want to do with the company? Does he want to continue like Vince's sort of stubborn style of no partnerships, or does he want to continue that trend of, because we obviously, like I said, we have the partnership with TNA, we have the pseudo partnerships with the likes of Evolve and others. Like, yeah, we're just, again, I just wonder what's gonna happen now. But yeah, some pretty exciting news, maybe, depending on who you ask. At the very least, I mean, it gets some people, it gets some audiences of WWE to know some of the wrestlers from AAA. So yeah, that's kind of cool. But yeah, more interesting news coming out of the wrestling world.